The Aztecs say they started from this place up in the north called Chiquimostoc. It was a cave, and inside that cave it had 7 different caverns.
Everyone knows the Aztecs were powerful conquerors, but the thing nobody tells you is how they truly secured that power. It wasn't just through force. A groundbreaking DNA analysis has revealed their secret weapon, and it's something no one saw coming.
The Aztecs' story of arrival, migration, and conquest, genetics adds an unexpected exclamation point to this late chapter in pre-Columbian Mesoamerican history.
Scientists have finally pieced together the Aztecs' real identity, and it's a disturbing truth that changes their entire legacy. Forget what you learned in school. The genetic evidence points to a systematic, almost invisible takeover that was far more sinister and effective than any army. This is the truth hidden in their blood. When the Otomi fell silent. The story begins not in a grand temple, but in the dust of a forgotten city called Zultocan, about 25 miles north of modern-day Mexico City. For centuries before the Aztecs were a whisper on the wind, Zultocan was a bustling hub, home to a sophisticated people known as the Otomi. They were master weavers, skilled farmers, and had a rich culture all their own. You see, the Valley of Mexico wasn't an empty land waiting for the Aztecs to arrive. It was a patchwork of established kingdoms and cities, each with its own history. The Otomi had been there for generations, a stable and thriving civilization. Then, in the early 1400s, the Aztec Triple Alliance began its relentless expansion. Historical records, written mostly by the Aztecs or the Spanish who learned from them, tell a simple story. Zultocan was conquered. But what conquered truly meant has been a mystery. Many people are crazy about the idea of lost civilizations. But what if a civilization was lost in plain sight? For a long time, historians had 2 main theories. The first was that the Otomi of Zultocan simply assimilated. They intermarried with the Aztec newcomers, adopted their language and customs, and their culture blended into the new empire. It's a nice, clean story. The second theory was that they fled, packing up their lives and moving away to escape Aztec rule. Both ideas seem plausible. But not all things are what they seem. When scientists from the University of Texas got their hands on ancient DNA extracted from the skeletal remains of people buried in Zultocan, they expected the results to support one of these theories. What they found instead sent a shockwave through the world of archaeology. The team, led by geneticist Deborah Bolnick, analyzed mitochondrial DNA, a type of genetic material passed down from mother to child, from bodies buried before and after the Aztec conquest. The results were stark. The DNA from the pre-conquest burials showed a clear, distinct genetic profile, the signature of the Otomi people. But in the burials from after the conquest, that signature was gone. Not diluted, not mixed, but almost completely erased. It was replaced by a totally different genetic profile, one that matched populations from the Aztec heartland. The most shocking fact is, this wasn't a gradual change over a century. It happened almost overnight in historical terms. It was as if the original inhabitants had vanished into thin air, and a new population was moved in to take their place. This wasn't assimilation. This was a replacement. The genetic data told a chilling story of a demographic event so complete, it was almost like a cleansing of the gene pool. The implications were staggering. If this happened in Zultocan, where else did it happen? Was the entire Aztec Empire built not just on conquest, but on the systematic removal and replacement of the people who came before? The evidence from this one small city opened up a terrifying new possibility about the true nature of the Aztecs. But this discovery was just the tip of the iceberg, a code written in bone. To understand the bombshell that came next, we have to look at the science itself. You see, your DNA is like a history book telling the story of your ancestors. Scientists can read this book using 2 main tools. Mitochondrial DNA, which we mentioned, tracks the mother's line, and the Y chromosome, which only males have, tracks the father's line. By analyzing these genetic markers from ancient skeletons across the former Aztec Empire, scientists could create a genetic map of the past. What many overlooked was that the Aztecs weren't a single unified ethnic group. Their own legends told of a great migration from a mythical northern homeland called Aztlan, and that they were a coalition of different tribes. For years, this was treated as a myth, but the DNA proved it was real. And then some. The genetic diversity found in the remains of people from the Aztec capital, Tenochtitlan, was off the charts. It was far more diverse than what you would expect from a single group that had settled and grown over 200 years. The thing nobody tells you is that this wasn't the kind of diversity you get from peaceful trade and intermarriage. The Y chromosome data, in particular, revealed a wild mix of paternal lineages, with specific genetic markers, called haplogroups, that traced back to distinct populations from all over Mexico and even farther north. We're talking about haplogroups like QM-EH2 and QM-3, which are common in central Mexico, suddenly mixing with others that are more typical of northern regions. It was a genetic melting pot, but one that seemed to have been stirred very, very quickly. This discovery painted a new picture of the Aztec migration. It wasn't one tribe wandering into the valley. It was likely multiple large-scale movements of different peoples, a coalition that came together to form the empire. This explains their explosive growth. They weren't just one group of conquerors, they were a multi-ethnic force. But this revelation also added a darker layer to the Zultocan findings. If the Aztecs were already a mix of different peoples, it meant they had a blueprint for moving large populations. What happened to the Otomi wasn't a one-off event. It was likely a strategy. The empire would conquer a region, remove the local men, the carriers of the Y chromosome, and move in their own colonists from various parts of the empire. This broke the local power structures, shattered cultural identity, and ensured loyalty to their new Aztec rulers. It was a form of genetic imperialism, a systematic effort to engineer the very population of their empire. It was brilliant, sophisticated, and absolutely terrifying. This wasn't just conquest. It was demographic warfare on a scale no one had ever imagined. More than just war. With this new genetic evidence, the true identity of the Aztec state began to emerge. They were not just warriors, they were master social and demographic engineers. The empire, which at its peak controlled over 200,000 square miles and ruled over 6 million people, wasn't held together just by fear, but by a chillingly effective state policy of population management. To put it mildly, this was a level of control that rivaled modern totalitarian states. Think about the logistics. To completely replace the population of a city like Zultocan required a level of organization that is hard to fathom. You would need to coordinate the movement of thousands of people, organize food and shelter for them along the way, and have a system in place to settle them in the new territory. This wasn't a chaotic result of war. It was a planned, state-sponsored resettlement program, and you can see this everywhere once you start looking. The genetic patterns of replacement weren't random. They were concentrated in strategically important areas, regions with valuable resources like obsidian or salt, or territories that were historically rebellious. The Aztecs would conquer these places, and then the local genetic signatures would begin to fade from the archaeological record, replaced by the diverse genetic mix of the Aztec imperial machine. The human cost of this policy is staggering to consider. What happened to the original people? The DNA tells us they were removed, but it doesn't say how. Some were likely forced into other regions as laborers or soldiers, their family and community ties intentionally severed. The complete disappearance of certain Y chromosome lineages, however, suggests a far grimmer reality for many of the men. A systematic elimination of local leadership and fighting-age males would be the most effective way to pacify a conquered territory permanently. This new evidence completely rewrites the story of Aztec warfare. You see, the famous flower wars were always described as ritualistic battles, almost like a sport, designed to capture individuals for sacred ceremonies. But what many overlooked is that this could have been a brilliant cover for a much larger, more sinister goal: to systematically bleed a rival city-state of its men, generation after generation. It was a slow-motion genocide, hidden behind the veil of religious ritual. By constantly targeting the strongest warriors, the Aztecs weren't just taking captives. They were removing the fathers, protectors, and future leaders of a rival population. Over decades, this strategy would have been devastating. A neighboring city would find itself with fewer and fewer men capable of farming, building, or defending its walls. Its spirit would be broken, its bloodline thinned, until it was too weak to resist a final takeover and complete population replacement. The Aztec Empire, it turns out, was a meticulously managed human landscape, where entire populations were treated as chess pieces, moved and removed to serve the state. Their true identity was that of a pioneering power in the art of demographic control. This wasn't just conquest, it was erasure. They didn't just want to rule you, they wanted to replace you, making your lands and resources their own by ensuring your people simply ceased to exist. Their greatest weapon wasn't the obsidian sword, it was a patient, generational strategy of demographic annihilation. But does this dark truth explain the empire's sudden, shocking collapse? A legacy in question. So here we are, looking at a completely new and frankly terrifying picture of the Aztecs. For anyone watching this, the natural reaction is to wonder, is this for real? Could this have actually happened? The thing is, the genetic evidence is piling up, and it's forcing us to ask some incredibly uncomfortable questions. For centuries, we have marveled at the Aztec capital, Tenochtitlan, a sprawling metropolis of over 200,000 people, larger and more organized than any city in Europe at the time. We saw them as brilliant, if brutal, empire builders. But this new evidence suggests their empire was built on a foundation of erased peoples and displaced genetics, a dark strategy of demographic conquest. And this might be the key to understanding why it all fell apart so quickly. When the Spanish conquistador Hernán Cortés arrived in 1519 with just a few hundred men, he was famously able to rally tens of thousands of local allies who despised the Aztecs. Why was there so much deep-seated resentment? The traditional answer has always been about tribute, that the surrounding tribes hated the constant demands for goods, gold, and people for their ceremonies. But what if that hatred ran much deeper, into the very DNA of their people? What if these allies were the last remnants of populations that had been systematically displaced, or belonged to groups who had watched the Aztecs genetically erase their neighbors, and knew, with chilling certainty, that they were next? This reframes the entire conquest. They weren't just fighting to get out from under the thumb of a brutal ruler. They were fighting for their very existence, to avoid being completely wiped from the genetic map. The new data suggests the Aztecs weren't just conquering territory. They were practicing a form of prehistoric ethnic cleansing, moving in their own people to replace the local populations they subdued. The infamous ceremonies, which demanded thousands of individuals, may have been more than just religious rites. They might have been a horrifyingly effective tool of population control, systematically removing the fighting age men of a conquered tribe to make them easier to absorb and replace. This changes everything. The Aztec Empire, for all its dazzling power and architectural glory, may have been incredibly brittle. Think of it like a magnificent skyscraper built on a hollow foundation. Its policy of population replacement created a landscape filled with simmering rage and subjects with absolutely no loyalty to the state. All it needed was a single push to come crashing down. Cortés and his men weren't the storm that destroyed the empire. They were simply the spark that ignited a continent-wide rebellion that had been waiting to happen. This revelation doesn't just stay in the past, it echoes into our world today. Are we missing a key detail in how other ancient empires operated? Modern DNA studies of people across Mexico show a complex and varied genetic landscape, a living map of these ancient movements, both forced and voluntary. The story of the Aztecs is no longer a simple tale of a great civilization that met a tragic end. It's a profound cautionary tale about power, control, and the idea that an empire built on erasing others is ultimately built on sand. The final truth revealed by the DNA is that the Aztecs were pioneers of a dark art, and their ultimate rapid fall was a direct consequence of their greatest and most terrible innovation. So, the evidence is in the bones. But does knowing this dark truth change how we should view the achievements of the Aztecs? Like, comment, and subscribe for more hidden history.